On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Perfect. I don't necessarily love it, but I do support what it is that she stands for and her ability to be objective when making rulings. So
you got to keep it real, man. Over the course of years, man, over hundreds of years, the justice system wasn't really a shield for us. It was more like a sword used against us. So
what are you talking about, bro?
Well, you got to let me get to my point, man. You gotta let me get to my point before you.
Okay, my bad. I apologize.
What I'm saying is, we okay. So the reason why I said that is because we're judging her based on her career, and the things she done throughout her career. And like Courtney said, she don't support a lot of things she did. It's a lot of guys that's sitting in those seats and been sitting in those seats that, if we want to be honest, man, I could say that we haven't been supporting the things they've been doing. I mean, look at the prison systems and look how black people been and brown people been ending up in the penitentiary for shit they haven't done. You got corrupt DAs, corrupt officers, messed up investigations.
And I can agree.
Okay. Here's the difference, because I'm talking specifically about her and what she stands on and her convictions that she did with pedophilia, doing 60 months where they should have gotten multiple of years, especially her being a mother. So I'm criticizing her as a mom of daughters of what she's done. But I'm doing it with facts. I'm not doing it over feelings. I'm not calling a whole genre of schools trash. I'm not calling a whole genre of people trash. That's not what I'm doing. I'm specifically talking about her. So the thing is, we can talk specifically about a person or about a particular school that you might not like, but we don't have to generalize it as a whole. Especially if you didn't research it, especially if you haven't gone to it. So that's the issue. Let's get the emotions out of it. Let's look at her particularly. And for me, it's not her necessarily being black. It's what does she stand for? And she stands for everything that I'm against.
But that's not what he's saying. He's saying you're being selective, right? You're telling him you're being selective, because if you're saying take your emotion out of it, take your emotion out of the HBCU. Don't just say, hey, regarding her, it applies to her. No, look at it as a whole. You're being selective and when to prove your point regarding certain stuff. And that's just.
Well, it's not being selective because we talk about schools. That's again, that's a whole group of schools, 107. You're not specifically saying, hey, this school I don't like. This school was horrible. I'm talking about a particular person. That's when I get upset when we talk about all black women. We talk about Jada Pinkett Smith. She doesn't represent all black women. She represents her Jezebel tail.
But I couldn't call her a hoe last week though, and I was talking to her.
Well, let's go back, since we keep wanting to go back to these old
topics. I'm just.
I didn't say Logic. I didn't say you couldn't call her a hoe. I said I wasn't. That's all I said last week. You can call whomever you want.
No, y'all said we shouldn't call her a hoe. She's a hoe. Like, why would you?
I said me.
What? Nobody called you a hoe. What are you?
No, ma'am. No, I didn't say that. I said I wasn't calling her a hoe.
Y'all got on Logic for calling her a hoe. What are you talking about? And I asked
y'all. I said, yes, you can call her.
I won't say y'all because Kay didn't say nothing. Kayla and Courtney got on Logic for calling her a hoe, and I
said, no, we did not.
Hold on.
You can play it. You can play it back.
Because I was like, wait, so y'all never called a woman a hoe before in y'all's little group chats or girls, and no one had anything to say. Y'all got on her for calling her a hoe.
That didn't happen, Oliver. I said, Mr. Law, I said I wasn't going to call her a hoe. Now,
that's exactly what I said. What Logic was doing was trying to say that we needed to call her a hoe, and why don't we call her a hoe? And I said, I don't need to do that.
No, y'all called me toxic for calling her a hoe. Stop the cap, bro.
You toxic in general.
Well, I didn't call you toxic. Who called you? Who called you toxic?
Get back on the toxic judge.
Okay, who called you toxic? Mr. Logic, who called you toxic was the young lady that we had on here, and you had a specific conversation on why she called you toxic. So we're going to say a thing. We got to be honest. Me and Kayla did not call you toxic. That young lady did, and you had a whole conversation with her. Why was it toxic?
and you agreed.
I
The
did
lady
not
did call you
agree with
toxic.
her.
She did.
So,
She did call you toxic, but y'all got on his ass for calling her a
I mean,
hoe.
like,
Agreed. You went in detail. I can't even believe you saying this.
I did not agree. She called you toxic. You had a whole conversation
Call her a
about it.
hoe.
Hold on. Can
This is
I?
funny.
Is my mic working good? Is my mic all right now? I switched over to the different mic.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Look, if we can bring it back to her specifically,
Thank you.
I like her. I don't necessarily agree with her politics. I don't always agree with her policies. But the thing that I like about her is that she was a public defender. I think that she served in different roles that broaden her horizons. And she specifically says that she does not take race into consideration when she's making decisions, or she's let me just say this. She says she doesn't let race influence her decisions. She does not care about race, which probably flies in the face of some of the people on the panel that said that they so happy that they got her in office. But one of the reasons that I like her is that she has a level of empathy. She does not take race into consideration. I think that she has a broad spectrum of experience that allows for her to be able to make decisions objectively without taking politics into consideration. And I don't necessarily agree with every decision that she makes. I agree with Courtney as far as her sentencing when it comes to, pedophiles. I don't know if we can say that. I mean, I don't know how that affects the algorithm.
Yeah, we already got flagged.
Really?
Yeah.
Pedos. Just say.
But I agree with Courtney in that, and I think that Courtney and I probably are a little bit more conservative as far as our beliefs and our views in most things. But again, I think that it needs to be balanced, and her ability to be able to look at things objectively compared to the other judges that's on, or the other Supreme Court judges that's on the panel. I think that it needs to be a good balance. And so I take all of that into consideration when I'm evaluating whether or not a person should be or shouldn't be on a Supreme Court. I think that healthy debate allows for growth, and you need people that are objective, because we don't even know what we don't know. I think that the laws will continue to change as we grow as a country, as we grow as a nation. The laws 100 years ago, the things that we considered bad 100 years ago, we don't consider bad today, or we consider very bad, but they didn't back in the day. And I think that you need people like her that have a very broad experience in how it is that she's handled different issues, seeing the faces of different people, defended on both sides from the public defender, and then obviously has ruled as a judge for an extended amount of time. I think that she's a good nominee. I don't think she's perfect. I don't necessarily love it, but I do support what it is that she stands for and her ability to be objective when making rulings. So
you got to keep it real, man. Over the course of years, man, over hundreds of years, the justice system wasn't really a shield for us. It was more like a sword used against us. So
what are you talking about, bro?
Well, you got to let me get to my point, man. You got to let me get to my point before you.
Okay, my bad. I apologize.
What I'm saying is, okay. So the reason why I said that is because we're judging her based on her career, the things she done throughout her career. And like Courtney said, she don't support a lot of things she did. It's a lot of guys that's sitting in those seats and been sitting in those seats that, if we want to be honest, man, I could say that we haven't been supporting the things they've been doing. I mean, look at the prison systems, and look how black people been and brown people been ending up in the penitentiary for shit they haven't done. You got corrupt DAs, corrupt officers, messed up investigations.